Welcome to Debunking 5 Common Self-Publishing Myths. There you go. Today we are going to talk about all those things you've probably heard. Things like self-publishing is only for people that were turned down by publishers, or no one will take me seriously if I self-publish. Although that seems to be the general belief, it isn't necessarily true. Many people prefer to self-publish because they want the creative freedom and control over their words. Self-publishing has become established over the last 10 years, and some authors have gone the traditional route and then self-published. Both work, both are accepted. It is true that with a self-published book, the range of quality is greater. For me, I didn't even consider the traditional route. I knew that I didn't have the experience I needed to get past the gatekeepers at a publishing house. I also knew that I wasn't interested in answering to another boss. I already had a job. Writing a book was a dream for me. I wanted to write it and I wanted to have it available for sale. And I wanted it to be good. Did I think it would be a bestseller? Absolutely not. I had never done this before and I had realistic expectations. I came across an article on Forbes.com called "Which is Better, Self-Publishing or Traditional Publishing?" which talks about being honest with yourself. Failure to be honest with oneself, secretly believing, for example, that your book will be one of those 1 in a million bestsellers, is the single biggest cause of depression among writers after writing itself. And with this, I ask, what is your why? Why do you want to publish a book? Do you want to be famous? Do you want to sell 1 million copies? That's a great dream to have. However, you may need the backing of a traditional publishing house to do that. Yet I've read that a traditional publisher will only put real marketing muscle behind the 1 or 2 books per year that it truly believes has a shot at becoming a bestseller. But if your why is simply to write the best book you can with the help of a professional editor and have it available for sale, then self-publishing may be for you. I believe that a lot of people are scared off by what they have heard about publishing. This webinar is geared to address those myths, 5 in particular, that I have noticed, and pull back the curtain to show you the truth of self-publishing as I know it. Throughout this webinar, I will be upfront with you. I am not affiliated with anyone, and I don't want to make any promises that aren't likely to come true. Full disclosure though, I am an optimist and a positive thinker, so I believe anyone that wants to self-publish a book can. And it will be as good as the effort you put into it. Will it make you money? It can. It depends on the quality, your effort, and if you are in it for the long game. You will need to keep showing up for your book. It won't sell itself. Self-publishing is not complicated. There are a series of steps you need to take and a variety of decisions you will need to make. When I wrote that line, I chuckled because it sounded a little bit like Dr. Seuss. So I'll read it again. There are a series of steps you need to take and a variety of decisions you will need to make. But if you address each one at a time, you will create a roadmap to self-publishing. And once you know the way, you just need to keep walking to get to the finish line. And if you stay with me to the end, I will tell you how to get a copy of my book, Northern Escape. It will provide you with an example of exactly what you can do through self-publishing. I had the cover designed by Monica Haynes at thethatchery.com. The interior formatting was done by Melinda Martin of Martin Publishing Services, and it was edited by Shayla Raquel, author, editor, self-publishing mentor, and speaker with an award-winning blog. These women were all exceptional to work with. They were professional, and yes, they charged for what they are worth. But because of them, I am proud of my book and confident when I speak about it. I know how tempting it is to pick up your phone, but for this next hour, try turning it upside down and do your best to ignore any buzzing or pinging that you hear. Okay, I am assuming that all of us here today have one thing in common. We like to write. Some of you may have written for years, and some may just be getting started. Regardless, we like to write. And since we are here to learn a bit about self-publishing, I thought it might be fun to give your future novel a kickstart. You may already be working on a novel, and if that's the case, just summarize what you've done so far and expand upon it. Or you may have no idea what you might want to write about. Regardless, we're going to take a couple of minutes to get those creative juices flowing. Grab some Post-it notes or a paper and a marker or a pen, and take the next minute or two to consider the following. Write what genre your book will be in. Will it be a thriller, suspense, or a romance? It could be historical fiction, a memoir, a nonfiction book. If you're not sure, write something that might appeal to you. Then write the theme of your book. What will it be about? What message will you try to get across to your reader? Where will your book be set? If it is a nonfiction, is it the boardroom or office, a school, or someone's home? It could be that there's no setting in the case of a nonfiction book, but then again, maybe it could be more interesting to the reader if you could create a real life story around the facts you wish to share. Now, of course, we don't have time to let you fully flesh out all these thoughts that have been triggered, but in the next 48 hours, I would like you to try something fun. It's called a Post-it note party, and it will put some momentum behind your novel. Grab a glass of wine or a cup of coffee, set a timer for 10 minutes, and if you like, put on some background music. Write about your genre and theme, and then expand upon it by brainstorming where the story might take place. There could be multiple of settings that you would like to write your story in, so you could put one sitting down per Post-it note. Consider the main plot points. You could put each of these on a separate Post-it note. The main plot points would be the introduction, rising action, climax, falling action, and resolution. Let me read those again more slowly. The main plot points are the introduction, rising action, climax, falling action, and resolution. What might happen at each point? And who will your characters be? Will they be complicated or simple? Who will be your protagonist? And what will your antagonist be like? From there, take another 10 minutes and organize your Post-it notes into chapters or scenes. How might you tell it? When your 10 minutes is up, you will have officially created the first draft of your story outline, which will fast track your novel writing success. If only it were that simple, but it'll get you started. Okay, so I want you to know that you're in the right place if you feel excited because you have a story to tell, but don't know where to begin. Or maybe you feel motivated because you have written a story, are unsure of what to do next, and can't wait to learn. Or possibly this is the perfect place for you if you feel relief, because you are tired of being confined to a cubicle and are fully aware that you are capable of so much more. However you are feeling, I am so glad that you are here, and I will help in any way that I can. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I work for a telecommunications company here in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada, and I've been with the company for 24 years now, and I am loving my job. It is challenging without being stressful, and I feel fully supported by my teammates and manager. But this wasn't always the case. For years, I was uncomfortable and unfulfilled. I didn't feel as though anyone really appreciated my work, and I knew I was just a number. I was dying a little every day, and I spent my evenings brainstorming what I could do instead. There was a side of me that was just screaming to do more. For the longest time, I didn't know what that was. However, back in the fall of 2015, I heard about the National Novel Writing Month, otherwise known as NaNoWriMo. Some of you may know about this. This is a group that encourages you to ignore your inner editor for the month of November and challenges you to write 50,000 words in 30 days. I liked their energy, and I liked the idea of having a creative project with a goal and a deadline, so I thought I would give it a try. Not having done a lot of writing to that point, it was a bit of a shock to the system, but I did it and it felt good. Once I had completed that rough draft, I revised it, had family and friends review it, incorporated those changes, submitted it to the Saskatchewan Writers Guild for a manuscript evaluation, and then made some further changes with that feedback. And then when I didn't know what to do next, I knew it was time to move forward to find an editor and start figuring out what I needed to do to get my book available for sale. Here are a few pictures of my family. That is Sarah, my now 17-year-old in the top left corner. If she isn't out with her friends, she's at the rink playing hockey. Beside her is Lauren, who is 19. She is in her second year of university and is balancing that with her job, a boyfriend, and ringette. And Matthew is 12 now, and I can't believe it. He loves world history, chess, and curling, and has finally developed a love for the rink like his sisters. This is my husband, Dan, and myself on our 21st anniversary up at Le Pietro restaurant in Waskesiu, which is in Prince Albert National Park here in Saskatchewan. We spend as much time up there every summer as we can. And of course, there's Oakley in the bottom corner. He just turned 8 in April. With their support and encouragement, I started working with my editor, creating a website, blogging about what I had learned, and sending out monthly newsletters. While putting the finishing touches on my novel, I researched how Amazon worked and what I would need to do to get my book ready for sale. I prepared my book for launch, continued to let everyone know that it would be released soon, and made my plan as to how I would promote my book. The top picture is of me and my niece, Rebecca, during my book launch. I asked her to come host it for me, and I'm so glad that I did. She's a great public speaker and has a calming influence on me, and she definitely brought the cool vibe. And then this bottom picture of me was taken the day after the book launch when I was feeling very authorly as I prepared to go hand deliver some signed copies of my book. So much fun. These were the sales rankings for Northern Escape for that first week of the book launch. It was so exciting to watch it climb higher in each of the various categories. I was so proud of myself and the transformation that I had undergone throughout the year. Honestly, it may have been the biggest growth over the shortest period of my life. I went from someone who hid in her corner of a large company working on spreadsheets to someone that was hosting her own book launch. And that was just crazy to me. Is that something you would like to experience for yourself? Can you imagine what it would feel like if you said yes to a project that truly lights you up? Are you ready to try something new? I'm going to let that sit with you for a while because I know it is a big question and maybe a scary one. What I'd like you to remember as we move through the rest of this webinar, and even as you go through the rest of your week, is that you can and should go at your own speed, always. But ask yourself this: do I want to be in the same place next year at this time, or do I want to move forward? Speaking of moving forward, if you are like me, anything like me, you like to know where you're going at all times. So let me take you through a quick roadmap of our webinar so you know what to expect. We will address the myths we have heard and sort of believe from number 1, you need a publisher to publish a book. 2, self-published books are poorly done. Number 3, you can't make a profit writing and selling a book. 4, you need experience to write and self-publish a book. And 5, it takes too long to write a book. And once we've addressed all the myths and you like what you've learned here, if you want to move ahead with your self-publishing journey, I would be happy to teach you what I know, and I will let you know how that can be done. At the end of this webinar, we will have a Q&A. So if you have any questions as we go along, please write them down and type them into the chat once we get to the Q&A, and I will address them then. Okay, so let's get started. Myth number 1, you need a publisher to publish your book. As you might guess, this is not true. You do not need a publisher to publish your book. Self-publishing has been around for a while now. Amazon first allowed ebooks to be uploaded in 2007 and is increasingly becoming the first choice for writers. Everything that a publisher can do can be done by you. It's true that you won't have the contacts they do or the influence, but I see this as a fun challenge. Whatever you accomplish, you've accomplished on your own. In fact, if you self-publish, you make all the decisions around the content and promotion of your book. You work to your own deadlines on your own time frame. You are the boss and you are in control of your world. I did not use a publisher to publish my book. I didn't want to report to someone else. I didn't want someone else having the final say over the words that were in my book. I wanted to help design the cover and the interior look. I wanted a say in that too. I'd like to know how you are feeling right now. How does the thought of self-publishing make you feel? Excited or nervous? Please post your response in the chat box. I know that I was extremely nervous for months as I worked with my editor to finish my book. It took me years to get to the point where I could comfortably tell people that I was even writing a book. If you are feeling this way, it is completely normal. Give yourself grace. There is no rush. However, I know the more often you consider doing something, the more quickly it will happen. And believe me, you will be so proud of yourself once your book is complete. All right, let's move on to the next myth. Myth number 2, self-published books are poorly done. People believe you can't publish a quality book without going through a traditional publisher. While it is true that there are some very poorly self-published books out there, the ability for a new author to produce something of high quality with the help of those educated and experienced in editing and design is becoming easier all the time. If you choose to self-publish, I recommend you budget for a good editor, interior formatter, and cover designer. If you invest in these 3 aspects of your book, you will be taken seriously as an independently published author. Look at it this way. When shopping for a book on Amazon, do you try to figure out whether the author is self-published? No, you read the description of the book and maybe some reviews. If it catches your eye, you buy it. Reviewers are what protects the purchaser. Editors are what protects the writers from producing something of poor quality. And consider this. Margaret Atwood self-published an award-winning book of poems called Double Persephone. E.L. James, the author of 50 Shades of Grey, self-published the first part of her trilogy before it took off and she received a traditional publishing deal. Beatrix Potter was scoffed at by traditional publishers, being that she was a woman, so she self-published 250 copies of The Tale of Peter Rabbit. She would go on to sell an estimated 45 million copies. And finally, Mark Twain, although already famous and supported by a traditional publisher, chose to self-publish because he had grown tired of working with the companies. He cut out the middleman and started his own imprint and wrote 2 highly successful books, The Personal Memoirs of Ulysses S. Grant and The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. 30% of the top 100 books on Amazon are self-published. That percentage is still rising. This quote was from back in 2014. Myth number 3, you can't make a profit by writing and selling a book. Here is a quote from the Financial Post. According to the Alliance of Independent Authors, self-published authors earn more per sale than those who work exclusively with trade publishers. The average trade-published author earns approximately 7.5% of their book's cover price, and those with agents lose a further 15% of that. Self-publishing platforms like Amazon, Apple Books, and Kobo pay up to 70% of each book sold to authors. Publishing is a $26 billion industry, with self-publishing growing as a popular side hustle. The average self-published author sells 250 books. Knowing that, you can set your price and work backwards from there to know how much you are willing to spend. Stay in budget and you will make a profit. Stay in it for the long run and you will make a bigger profit. There are options available with self-publishing. While I recommend paying for experienced professionals to help you, there are less expensive options available that will keep you on budget. As long as those options address plot holes and grammatical errors adequately, you can make a profit more quickly. However, that profit might be more limited if you choose quality and are willing to put in the time necessary to promote your book. Which are you? I am thinking about writing a book, or I have written a book and am wondering what to do next. Please put a 1 or a 2 in the chat. If you are thinking about writing a book, I'm so excited for you. There are so many things you can do along the way to promote your book before it is even written. If you have already written a book, good job. If you would like, I can help you understand what comes next. Myth number 4, you need experience to write and self-publish a book. Remember, you won't have the experience until you start. Everyone starts somewhere. If you are thinking, who am I to write a book? I want you to stop yourself. I get it, I've been there. I asked myself, who am I to write a book? Why do I think I can do this? Why do I think I should do this? But why not? What does it really hurt? So someone spends $20 on your book and doesn't like it. Oh well, they spend $20 on drive-through without even thinking about it. If they don't like it, it really won't change their life. But what if they do like it? What if it changes their life? I received a text a while back from someone I had never communicated with before. It said, "Hey, Mrs. Folk, I just finished reading your book and it was amazing. It related directly to my soul. So glad I chose it. I just wanted to say thank you for such a story." This was my hope when I wrote my book, that it might touch someone in some way. Let me tell you, I had zero writing experience beyond high school English and a core class in university. I've always enjoyed writing, but I wrote my first novel based on instinct and what I had learned through my love of reading. I hadn't journaled since I was in high school. I hadn't tried to write anything from start to finish. I just knew that when I wrote an email, a Christmas card, or procedures at work, I liked it. I had days when I would sit and write, but they were few and far between. If I can do it, so can you. Experience comes with showing up and doing the work. Keep working until you are proud of what you have accomplished. Those were my mantras. Work until you are proud of it. If you are happy with it, it doesn't matter what others think. Could my book be better? Yes, I think I could have worked on it forever, constantly tweaking it here or there. But at some point, you just have to say, it's done. Self-publishing is for anyone. Still wondering if you need more experience before writing your book? I want you to shift your thinking from, am I good enough? To, I am good enough. Myth number 5, it takes too long to write a book. It's true, we are all busy, and I have to admit it was the extra time during the pandemic that got me to the finish line. With children, it is hard to spend extended periods of time on your writing, but there's no rush. Work on it when you feel like it, leave it for a while, and come back to it. At least if you're writing a book, you have a goal in mind and a purpose. And having a purpose is important. It takes too long to write a book? I would argue nothing is too long if you are enjoying what you are doing. With self-publishing, you have all the time in the world. You do not have a boss setting a deadline or a publisher breathing down your neck. You are the boss, you set the deadlines, and you do it because you enjoy it, not because you have to. But if it is important to you, you will make the time. So set your schedule. I needed years to get my head on straight with regards to my writing. I was embarrassed to even call myself a writer, and I was unsure as to what to do next. If I had known what the next steps were, I would have gotten to the finish line a lot faster. Regardless, with self-publishing, you are in control. You set the schedule, so go at your own speed. I know that you have what it takes to write, publish, and sell your story. When I was talking to a friend of mine last fall, she said this: it's just so nice and so refreshing to talk to somebody who finally has the time to write too, because we were both mothers. We had to, live our lives and build structure and build a bedrock for our family. And now we are at the point where we're like, okay, let's do this. It's now or never, right? Can you relate? So now I have a question for you. Would you like me to help you self-publish a quality book that is profitable? Or do you want to figure it out for yourself? With option 1, you can go your own way and figure out the self-publishing process for yourself. The problem with this is that you may run the risk of becoming frustrated with all of the research and decision-making that is required. Trust me, I am very familiar with this. With this option, you may be in the same place this time next year with no book to make you money. Or option 2, you 100% commit to learning all that is required to launch your book this year using a proven roadmap. If you're ready to learn all that is involved with self-publishing a book, then I'd like to invite you to join me inside of Make a Splash Self-Publishing, Test the Waters Before Diving In. Clever, right? I worked hard to figure out the name for this course, and when this one came together, it felt right. That is what this course is all about, learning all the steps involved in self-publishing and promoting a book before you start. Sometimes we don't start things because we don't know what we're getting into. Will there be hidden expenses? Will I be tied to some sort of contract? Will someone else be benefiting from my hard work? What technology will I have to learn? What will it cost? And will I be able to do this? These are some of the things I worried about, and as I figured each and every one of them out, I made notes. I did not want those interested in self-publishing to have to reinvent the wheel each time. For example, WordPress versus Squarespace. Oh my gosh, I lost days of my life trying to figure out WordPress. I know that some people love it, but I was not able to figure it out, not on my own. And I like to think of myself as good with that kind of thing. But with WordPress, you had to purchase add-ons for all sorts of things, none of which I was sure I needed. So I didn't, and I got stuck. I did some research, talked to a few people, and decided to go ahead with Squarespace, a beautiful platform with security built in. I have never regretted that decision. This is one example of what I will share with you inside of my Make a Splash Self-Publishing Test the Waters Before Diving In course. In this course, you will learn how to create your author brand, bring your book to market, and develop a marketing plan. There are 3 modules in Make a Splash Self-Publishing Test the Waters Before Diving In. The first contains information on how to brand yourself as an author. This may seem strange and uncomfortable to you. However, whether you go the self-publishing route or the traditional publishing route, you will be required to promote yourself. It is widely suggested that you set up a website as a place for your audience to find you. You can then let people know about your website through social media. You will want to create an email list so that you can communicate directly with those interested in hearing about your book and writing process as you prepare to launch your book. How to do all this is contained in Module 1. Module 2 teaches you how to prepare your book for an editor. Let me say that again. Module 2 teaches you how to prepare your book for an editor, how to find that editor, and what the process will be when working with him or her. I will show you how to find and work with both a cover designer and interior formatter, and all that is involved with that as well. There is also a lesson on market research. This explains how to research what readers in your genre like in terms of covers, style of writing, and what makes a good hook. In addition, you will figure out what keywords and categories are best for your book in preparation for uploading it to wholesaler platforms like Amazon. In preparing for launch, we will dive into how to set the stage in terms of reviews and book tours, both online and in person. You will be shown how to upload your book to Amazon, build the buzz around your book launch, what you should do to get your book to climb the Amazon rankings, and all the many ways you can promote your book long term. As you can see, this course is jam-packed with useful information. In addition, there will be 3 bonuses. The first you will receive when you sign up. It is called the Writer's Guide. This guide will give you insights into the writing world, definitions for the terminology used within the industry, and why you need to stay away from vanity publishers. It gives tips on how to make the commitment to your writing, where to start with your novel, cheat sheets on character development, point of view, scene setting, and more. Best of all, this guide lists my favorite resources for plot development and crafting realistic characters, as well as trusted sources of information for all things self-publishing. Honestly, I'm not special. I don't have access to exclusive experts, technology, or resources. I have just done the work to create a proven roadmap that I follow and will continue to follow every single time I write a book. If I can do it, so can you. All you got to do is keep showing up. The second bonus is 3 weeks of live question and answer sessions via Zoom every Thursday throughout the course. You will have access to a private members-only Facebook group called Make a Splash, and there you will be able to interact with other students taking Make a Splash self-publishing, Test the Waters Before Diving In. And if you are interested, there is a mentoring program that you can sign up for within that group so that you can buddy up with another writer and share what you know while learning from them. So to recap, you get the Writer's Guide, which I've priced at $47, and the live Q&A with Cindy and access to a private members only Facebook group called Make a Splash. If you sign up for Make a Splash self-publishing, test the waters before diving in, and do not feel the value is there for the money you paid, I do offer a money-back guarantee. However, I'm only looking for serious action takers, so you need to show that you gave the program a try before requesting a refund. I do this because I'm not looking for tire kickers, but true go-getters that want to dive in and learn what is involved in self-publishing. If you do the work and you're still not satisfied, show me your work, and within 14 days of enrolling, I'll gladly give you a refund. At the beginning of this webinar, I promised that by the end of our time together, you were going to understand the power of developing a self-publishing roadmap. So I want to explain this a little further. Throughout the course, you will learn about your options for each step of the self-publishing process. Do you need a website, or would you be happy with an equally beautiful landing page? Will you blog or post on social media? How will you bring readers to your mailing list? Through a few chapters of your books, or with a character development guide? How much are you willing to pay for your editor? What did you learn from your market research? What kind of promotion will you do? Free advertising or paid ads? With each decision you make, you will fill in your self-publishing roadmap so that at the end of this course, you will know where you are going, how you will do it, and how much it will cost. Honestly, this is why I wanted to create this course, to take the guesswork out of it for people, to let others know what worked for me. As I said earlier, I'm not affiliated with anyone. I'm giving my honest opinions based on my research and experiences. The value in knowing what works and what doesn't is hard to estimate. All I know is that I wish I hadn't spent $200 on Ingram Spark, at least not at the beginning of my self-publishing career. So this is what you will get in addition to the course content: a writer's guide to inspire and introduce you to the world of writing, 3 weeks of live Q&A sessions with me weekly during the length of the course to answer any questions you might have, plus the private members Facebook group where you can interact with other students in the course and share knowledge and experience, and a self-publishing plan at the end, which will allow you to say, I'm ready to dive in, or I'm just going to sit on the edge of the pool for a while and see if I really want to get wet. Okay, so this is where marketers inflate the value of their courses and then give you the amount that they think that they're going to charge for it. I know it's silly, but it is a good way to show the value. And I've tried to be reasonable with my estimates and have based them on what I feel you will save in time, as well as the quality of the content. Still, I want this information to be available to whoever needs it. So I have priced Make a Splash self-publishing, test the waters before diving in, at $197. I'm hoping that this is a price point that you can wrap your head around. I want this program to be affordable to you. I want you to be able to enroll today, jump in and get started learning all that is involved with self-publishing a book. That's why I priced it at $197. I'm so excited for you to uncover the secrets of self-publishing and developing a roadmap for creating, launching, and selling your story. The card is open. If you open another tab on your computer and type in www.cindyfolkauthor.com/enroll, you can sign up there. You may pay in one payment of $197 or 3 monthly payments of $69. If you go to cindyfolkauthor.com/enroll, you can select either the $69 option or the $197 option. I mentioned that there was a special bonus at the beginning of the webinar. To get your hands on this bonus, all you need to do is enroll before midnight tonight. It is a copy of my ebook, Northern Escape. I want you to have it so you can see exactly what you could create. It will give you an example of all the features of a book from front cover to title page, table of contents, and back matter. I want you to also see the quality that you can have in a self-published book, from the design of the cover to the writing of a well-edited book. I also want to offer you a signed copy of my book. If you enroll in the course in the next hour, I will personally be in touch with you to make arrangements to have that signed copy mailed to you. But before you enroll, I just wanted to tell you about one more thing. There is an opportunity for you to have a VIP experience, to have a one-on-one coaching session with me, where you can ask anything and everything related to self-publishing over a private Zoom call. You can request this to happen at a mutually agreed upon time during the length of the course. The course will begin on Tuesday, June 14th, and end on Thursday, June 30th. Now, you will have access to the online course platform indefinitely. You'll be able to work on it at your leisure. But in terms of live Q&A sessions, they'll happen during those dates between Tuesday, June 14th and Thursday, June 30th. And it would be good to have our private Zoom call during that time frame as well. If you were to sign up for the VIP, you would just send me an email at cindy@cindyfolkauthor.com and we can set that up. Okay, this VIP experience is available for only $50 more, taking the price of all of this to $247. And like the independent study experience, you can pay in one payment of $247 or 3 monthly payments of $89. Again, you can find that sign up page at cindyfolkauthor.com/enroll. So just one more time to make sure it's clear, you can enroll in the independent study where you get the course and the bonuses, or you can enroll in the VIP experience where you get all of the benefits of the independent study plus a one-on-one coaching call with Cindy. This would be your enrollment experience. If you go to cindyfolkauthor.com/enroll, it will take you to a page that gives you the 4 payment options. When you click one of the buttons, now you can't see the buttons in here, they're just below. But when you click one of the buttons, you will be redirected to a payment page where you will fill in your details. You will receive a confirmation with your order number and order summary. And if you use more than one email regularly, take note of which one you used. Then check your email. There you will receive a welcome email with login details. Please note that I will need to enter you into this system as a student before you will receive this email. However, once you do receive it, click login here. And then enter your login information. And that will take you to the members area for Cindy Folk Author courses. The course content will be dripped weekly. So at this point, when you click Start Course, you will only see the course outline. On Tuesday, June 14th, you will receive an email letting you know that you can go into Make a Splash Self-Publishing, test the waters before diving in. The first module, The Art of Author Branding, along with the first 4 lessons will be there at that time. So if you're ready to go to cindyfolkauthor.com/enroll and enroll right now to get that fast action bonus. Remember, if you sign up in the next hour, I will personally send you a signed paperback copy. Those prices again were $197 for the independent study option and $247 for the VIP experience. But you may not be ready yet, and if that's you, that's okay. There may be many reasons why you are afraid to move forward with the dream of writing and self-publishing a book, but I want you to know that you are in the right place if you have an incredible story that needs to be told, but you don't know where to begin. You are in the right place if you have written a fabulous book, but aren't sure what to do next. And you are in the right place if you are a corporate employee with the heart of an entrepreneur, tired of being confined to a cubicle and fully aware that you're capable of so much more. I know that you have lots of questions. I did too. For example, what else will I need to invest in? A very good question. There will be expenses required to create and promote your book. However, I will guide you through where to get the biggest bang for your buck. By the end of this course, you will know exactly what to do and what it will cost. What you will save by not spending on things you don't need, not to mention the value of your time saved by not having to do the research yourself, will more than offset this program, the cost of this program. Another question you may be asking yourself is my writing good enough? Obviously, this is a tough one to answer because there is no magic mirror to say whether your writing is good or not. What might be considered good writing to one may not be to another. I think the question you have to ask yourself is, do I like to write? I believe that if you enjoy writing, it must be that you like your own writing, which likely means it's pretty good, especially since we are our own worst critics. All you need to write a book is the desire to write. So I ask you this, do you enjoy writing? Are you willing to put in the time to work and rework it? As long as you are willing to improve upon what you have written until you are happy with it, that is all you need to know. You are good enough. Another question you may be asking yourself is, do I need existing tech skills? You will need to know the basics of using Word and email. Other than that, I will make the tech side of things as easy as I can for you. This is my pet peeve and the reason I developed this course, to make this kind of thing easier for everyone. And finally, what if I have questions? As part of the Make a Splash self-publishing Test the Waters Before Diving In program, there will be a private Facebook group called Make a Splash where members can support one another. In addition, I will be doing Q&A every week throughout the course to answer any questions that you have. They will likely be on Thursdays at 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. All you need to do to have your questions answered is email me at cindy@cindyfolkauthor.com. So once again, here's the web address to enroll in Make a Splash Self-Publishing Test the Waters Before Diving In. I will stay online to answer any questions that you may have. Please just post them in the chat.